I mean, their guard plays tremendous with Miller, Edwards, and Pierre. Their ability to make really really tough shots and just dictate the game with their guards. I think Washington's an unsung guy. Averaging double digit points, but they've got really really good personnel. They give them space and they let them boogie, and they've got very good players.
And coach, to follow up that quickly, as you prepare on this back end of the schedule to end conference play, what do you want to see just from your team overall to remain consistent, tallying win, defensive um, prowess? What do you want to see from the team overall?
I think we just got to continue to improve, continue to get better. We've kind of handled business, but the back end of our schedules, I think we're 6-1 right now against the bottom six teams. Which look, you got to handle your business. We're 1-1 against the top 10 teams. I think all the rest of our games pretty much are against the top 10 teams in the league. So we've got to be better defensively. And look, we're going to face a form of resistance that we haven't faced in a couple games against SMU, and that's how it's going to be for the next month. So we've got a lot of work ahead of us.
Mark Berman.
Good morning. You've won, I believe, four in a row now. What are you liking from your team during the stretch to kind of explain the success you've had of late?
Well, we're sharing the ball, we're moving the ball offensively, and we've hit shots. So anytime you're playing well offensively, it gets the guys in a good mood and in a good place. And I think that we're playing with some confidence, but we've also got to make sure that we have the proper humility at the same time.
Williams obviously did very well for you at Texas Tech. It is did very well at Texas Tech. It is doing very well for you this year. What do you see from being around him day to day to explain his successful transition to the ACC?
Yeah, I mean, look, he's a great player. He's got great feel when the ball's in his hands. Something good is going to happen for NC State, and so it's our job to make sure we put the ball in his hands more. But he's just one of those guys that's got tremendous feel. He's a very good shooter, very good playmaker, and so he can help your team win in a lot of different ways.
Thank you.
Jaden Watson Fisher.
Yeah, well, I know, you've talked about wanting more consistency, still having room to grow, but does it feel like this team is on an upward trajectory?
I mean, yeah, we're on a better trajectory than we were, 3 weeks ago. But I mean, I don't think we've peaked. I don't think we're playing our best. I mean, I think that there's a lot more in there, and so it's our job to get that out of our guys. But I do feel like we're playing more consistent and we're playing better basketball than we were a couple of weeks ago.
Noah Fleischman.
Well, you mentioned in the last game that you really like the shots that you guys are getting from three. What goes into, getting those kind of shots, the high quality ones that you're looking for, and how long do you think it took to really, get that out of this team?
Well, I think just some of the spacing. We had some spacing issues early on, and so our spacing's been better. Our guys have a better sense of where everybody is, where our movements are on the drives. Look, it's unique. Most guys haven't played out of this. We kind of back Q and Darian down. We call it the porch, but we back them down, and so there's some unique spacing when that happens. And early on, we were cutting on top of each other, and we weren't really moving how we need to move. We still don't have it right. We turned the ball over to Trey when Trey should have exchanged to the corner and had Terrence cutting. We turned the ball over to Trey cutting. In the weight game, we still don't have everything right, but there's a lot that goes into that, and it's not something that's natural. A lot of play, unless you played with Q last year, which we did it last year, you wouldn't be used to the spacing and playing that way. So I think just guys getting a better sense of the spacing and how and where everybody's going to be has been helpful.
And then just to follow up on that real quick, Darian has hit five threes in back-to-back games. What is that like for you to kind of see him, get consistent on that part of his game?
Yeah, I mean, it's great. I'm happy that he's making them. He's a very good shooter, and he's getting good looks. I mean, it's the quality of the looks. I mean, he took one that was off the bounce. It was a pretty tough shot, but It's the quality of his looks, and I like the quality of his looks, and we just gotta keep him firing.
Corey Smith.
Well, we've really seen Terrence Arsenault take a pretty big step in his game in recent weeks, especially during ACC play. I know you kind of challenged him back in December and wanted to see him grow and develop. What have you seen from him that's helped him, first of all, earn more minutes, but also how critical has he been for this team the last month?
He's been awesome. Look, he was, he was going through a lot of stuff, and he had some injury stuff. He just had a lot of things going on early on, and so very proud of him. He stuck with it. It's not easy. Come back from 2 DNPs and start and start back playing, and then to come in and make an impact. And so, look, he's our most athletic guy. There's 2 or 3 plays defensively every game that he's the only guy on either team that can make them. And so having him out there when you're in conference play, I mean, over 70% of your conference games are going to come down to 3 possessions or less. Well, when you've got a guy that can help manipulate 2 or 3 of those possessions in your favor, he's very, very valuable. So you add his defensive value to him being very, very efficient right now, offensively, making open threes, and then, catch, shoot, rip drives. He's doing everything that we ask him to do. And that's led to him playing well. It's led to our team playing well too, but there's more in there. We're not settling with Terrence. I think there's more in there, and we're going to keep working and trying to bring that out.
As a quick follow-up to that, I mean, how critical will his defense be along with your bigger guards that you have going against this SMU team that does rely heavily on its top 3 guards?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to have to guard a lot better than we did Saturday. We gave up 19 middle drives on Saturday to Wake Forest. They missed some stuff at the rim. They missed some open threes off the middle drives. I mean, if we give up 19 middle drives to SMU, they'll score 120 points on us. So we're going to have to be much more solid defensively, and Terrence will be a big part of that equation.
Thanks, Will.
Brett Friedlander, go ahead.
Well, you've got 2 pretty difficult road games coming up in your next 3, but you're 5-0 on the road this season. I was wondering, is there anything in particular that has made you so good on the road this year?
No, I mean, I couldn't point to one thing. I mean, we're pretty routine oriented, but we're routine oriented at home as well. So sometimes, getting on the road, I've had teams that are really good on the road. We had teams that went undefeated in a power league on the road one year. I've had teams that have just been mediocre on the road, but I think the biggest thing is you just got to be together. You've got to have a next play mentality on the road where you can stop, reset, next play. And so, that's going to be critical tomorrow. They're going to hit some wild shots. I mean, Pierre's going to hit a 18-foot turnaround fadeaway. And then the challenge is at home, it's a lot easier to not, you've got to come down and then run solid offense and not try to match them shot for shot. Now on the road with the crowd going crazy, sometimes it can get away from you and you come down and shoot the same shot, and your guy doesn't make them as high as with as much frequency as Pierre does. So, I think just having that next play mentality, and when things get tougher, you've got to get tighter together. And I think that's been helpful for us on the road, but we've got some big challenges left on the road.
Thanks a lot, Will. Good luck.
Thank you.
James Henderson, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, we'll facing Boopy Miller for SMU this week. How would you describe his game? What are some things you think you need to kind of focus on to try and slow him down?
I mean, he does a great job operating out of the pick and roll. Look, he's anytime you're a small guard, you got to be able to shoot it. And he can really, really shoot it. He shoots over 50% from mid-range, shooting 53% from mid-range, shooting at 37, 38%. From 3. He draws a lot of fouls, does a good job, gets to the free throw line about 8 times a game in league. And he's over, he's an 80% free throw shooter in league, 90% free throw shooter overall for the year, 88%, I believe, for the year. So he's a really, really talented player. He's a good player at Wake Forest. His high school coach his last year of high school, his high school coach is one of my best friends. And so I've known about him. I followed his career, and he's a really, really good player.
JC Zembel, go ahead.
Lubin has been rock solid, consistent the last 6 games. How do you kind of see that center matchup against a very, very large human being?
Look, Lubin has been our most reliable and dependable guy all year. He's been incredible for us. I appreciate you asking about him because he kind of gets lost in the shuffle, and I don't think he's um, appreciated nearly enough in terms of everything he does for our team. He's been phenomenal, and obviously, a big 24 will be a big challenge. And so he's 24 is physical and huge and ducks in, and he does a lot of things that help him win. So it'll be a big challenge for Vin, but Vin's answered every challenge. He doesn't miss. He hadn't missed hardly anything for us. He's been just absolutely phenomenal for us, and very, very proud and pleased of everything he's done for our team.
Last question goes to Shelby Swanson.
Hey, Will, just curious talking to some of the coaches on this call. What's for you in particular stands out about this freshman class just across the country as opposed to maybe some of the freshman classes we've seen in recent years?
Yeah, I think the depth of it is pretty impressive. Obviously, the top end talent is elite, but there's some guys that we're kind of in the middle that have really risen up. To look at the kid from Illinois and how well he's been playing, how well he played last night, and we've got some of the best freshmen in the country in our league with Wilson at North Carolina, obviously Boozer at Duke, Mikel Brown at Louisville. I think Freeman's really talented at Syracuse. So I mean, we've got. I'm sure I'm leaving some out. I mean, our kid Matt Abel is really coming on, and he's going to have some big games down the stretch here for us. I believe that, especially from a scoring standpoint. He's been doing all the other little things. So you look nationally and we played against Darren Peterson. I mean, look, there's incredible depth in this class. Usually you'll have maybe one or two top end guys. I think what stands out is that there's great depth, but also of the top 10, we've got 3 or 4 of them in our league here. Which is great for the ACC, and it's why we're going to get a lot more NCAA tournament bids than we've been getting. And look, it's about players, and these guys are good, and they've made their imprint on college basketball this season.
Will, thank you. Appreciate the time.
All right, thanks, guys.